Hello, everyone. My name is Alana Evora, and on behalf of myself and my co-authors, I am presenting an open source tool for conducting high-fidelity vibrational playbacks. As we all know, a vibrational playback experiment can look like this, where vibrational stimuli are recorded, and then those recorded stimuli are played back to an organism. Playbacks are incredibly important because they can be used to answer an array of questions. For example, you might use a playback to describe the function of a signal and its components. You might ask a basic question about the benefits and costs of such a signal, or you might ask an applied question about how vibrational signaling can be used to disrupt the mating of pest species. One challenge to performing a playback experiment with vibrational stimuli is that the device used to produce the vibrations and the substrate through which they travel filter the stimulus. And this can be influenced by a variety of factors. For example, the frequency response of the playback device, the coupling of the waves to the substrate, and the geometry and composition of the substrate. Filtering is an issue because it changes the frequency response of the signal, causing unwanted distortion. This means that the stimulus that's played to the organism doesn't match the originally recorded stimulus. Displayed here are two amplitude spectra with frequency on the x-axis and power spectral density on the y-axis. So on the left is the played stimulus, and this is just noise with energy distributed equally across all frequencies. And then on the right is the recorded stimulus. So it's the same stimulus after it's played with the device and propagates through the substrate. And you can see that the recorded stimulus is very different from the played stimulus. Some frequencies are amplified while others are attenuated, and this is due to that filtering. A common solution for this is to measure and compensate for the filtering using a computer script. One tool that exists for this is a custom written MATLAB script developed by one of our co-authors, Rex Cocroft. Although the script works really well, MATLAB requires a proprietary software license, which means that you have to pay in order to be able to run your code. And proprietary software licenses can impose economic barriers to those who want to use this approach. And so because proprietary software licenses can limit access to research, we've translated the code into an open source programming language called Python. We chose Python for several reasons. The first reason is that it's a high-level language, which means that it's written similar to how humans think, and that makes it really easy to learn for those who want to later modify the scripts that we release. It's also a portable language, which means that you can run the same scripts across different operating systems. And this was important to me because I was running the script on a Raspberry Pi, which is a $40 microcomputer, and I wanted it to be the same as running it on my MacBook Pro, which runs Mac OS. This Python is also open source and non-proprietary, and that means that the source code is public and there's no cost associated with running your code, and that encourages collaboration. So now I'm going to share a video demonstration of the Python script in action. So the first thing I'm doing is I'm opening the script in a code editor, and then I'm going to run the script from the terminal because it's a command line interface. So I'm running the script by typing python3 module1.py, which is the name of the file. And then I'm prompted to enter some information like the sampling rate, FFT size, the lowest and highest frequencies of interest, and the device that I'm using. In this case, I'm using an audio interface, which is device 0. And then I'm also asked about my input and output channels. So those are the channels that my playback and recording devices are plugged into. And after that, the script is going to generate 2 seconds of noise, and you're going to be prompted to play and record the noise. And then afterwards, this is what you get. It's an amplitude spectrum where the blue line represents what we played and the orange line represents what we recorded. And you can see again that the recording of the noise is different from the noise that was played. These frequencies are amplified and these ones are attenuated. And so the script is going to use the ratio between the played and recorded noise to generate a compensation filter. And once we generate that compensation filter, we can apply it to different stimuli. Next, the script is going to apply this stimuli to this original noise, the blue line. And then this is what we get, where again, the blue line is the original noise, the orange line is the recording of noise, and the green line is the compensated noise. So the green line is this blue noise with the compensation filter applied. And you can see that the compensated noise is the inverse of the recording of the noise. So when the system amplified these frequencies, we're going to pre-dampen them. And when the system dampened these frequencies, we're going to pre-amplify them. And this is going to help us mitigate the effects of filtering. So next, the script is going to prompt you to record the compensated noise, which you can do in the terminal. And then once you record the noise, you're going to get another amplitude spectrum where this time the blue still is the original noise and the orange is the recording of the compensated noise. And you can see now that the recording is pretty flat. It matches the original noise pretty well. And that's how we know that the compensation filter did a good job of mitigating the effects of the filtering. Then you're asked whether you want to compensate again. As we saw in the last amplitude spectrum, the recording of the compensated noise pretty much matched the original noise. So I'm going to choose not to compensate again. And then from there, you can save your final filters. So it's saving that compensation filter so that you can later apply it to your stimuli for your vibrational playback. So as far as remaining work, we're developing 3 scripts. The first one is the one that I discussed today, which is to measure and compensate for substrate or just for filtering. The second one is to calibrate the playback device amplitude. And then the third one is to apply your compensation filter and calibration to your vibrational stimuli that you want to use in your playback experiment, and then play those stimuli. And the one that we have the most work to do is on the second one for calibrating the device playback amplitude. I'd like to thank my co-authors and those who made this work possible, and let you all know that we're excited to share these scripts with you in the coming months. Thank you.